Good.
Yes, hello, beautiful family. Sometimes you'll be what we are talking before getting into the show is spills in here. So, which is good because that is how we're supposed to live in collaboration and in unity with one another. That is what makes
Yep.
us a global family. So, hello,
Yeah.
thank you, good day, and welcome again to One Global Movement. And I am really so excited. I'm sorry we are late because I was rushing from taking food and some piece of furniture to a family that is going through some challenges here. So, and thank God that I did that. It's so cold. Oh my God, it's so cold, but we have to do it. Just think about,
Yeah.
especially those that are also on the street, to take some coats to them, especially in cold environments like us. So I always like to do that every year because you need to really see those people. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a sad situation, but thank God that we can do what we can do right now at this present
Amen.
moment. So thank you,
Amen.
guys. Thank you, sister, for the patience. And I know that you're always punctual, but today again I was late. So and
Yes.
today we're just going to dive into the thing because we have only 30 minutes here.
Mhm.
We are in One Global Movement Revolution Part 408, Authenticity over Performance, Series 2. When being real matters more than being loud. When being real matters more than being loud.
Mhm.
Authentic presence as credibility. You can begin to picture out that these topics are interrelated. And
You
what I
see.
want to discuss here, there are common natural principles that bind everything that we do. And so when we tie this topic into those natural principles, things begin to just blossom and things begin to come naturally. And so we are so happy. And thank you again, sister, for these incredible topics that you always come out with because you have the children, the young people in mind, which is what we
Yes.
really want here.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Thank
And
you,
sister,
sister.
if you want to start it, that's fine. Otherwise, I can
That's
go.
fine. Okay,
Sister,
you settle down because I know you just kind of got in. So drink some water. I'll just start
okay, go.
because I want to start with the scriptures. I was looking at that, and there are lots and lots and lots and lots of verses. The Lord really, really, our Creator really wants us to be authentic. He doesn't, even though He can read our hearts, He still wants us to be authentic, especially as it relates to one another, right? And when we come to Him. So I chose one. It says, 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. It says, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People
Mhm.
look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart because that's
Yes.
where everything comes from, right?
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
heart that you had just to go and do what you did this early this morning in this cold, it's for other people. So authenticity is increasingly valued over performance because people crave they crave credibility over polish.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to be perfect because none of us are. And genuine connection over forced relatability. While performing, being loud, charismatic, or constantly on may offer quick attention, it is often exhausting to be
Mhm.
always performing and it's unsustainable. Who can keep up that, right? And
Yep.
that's why some people are burning out. And that's why Gen Z is not going there. I'm going to keep repeating that. The majority of them are not going there.
Yep.
They're
They're not.
saying, we don't want to do that. Authenticity is about consistency, being the same person regardless of who is watching, which builds trust and long term, meaningful relationships. So go ahead, sister. You
Mhm.
can jump in now if you want.
Yes, I really love that because, I always, when I want to think about, or I think about how I live my life or what I'm doing for myself, my family, and the community, the one thing that
Mm-hmm.
I always think about is who am I? Who am I? And
Yep.
why am I here? Why is it that great things, good things happen to me and not to others? And why am I even alive in the place where
Mm-hmm.
others lost their lives?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
when we question ourselves, we question our own very existence. It's not like you're questioning things because you're doubting. You're questioning it because that question has to stick in your mind for all your life. And that's the way you bring up your children. Because when you question yourself like that, you begin to do things that
Yeah.
you never imagine in your wildest dream that you can do because you are alive. And when you are
Sure.
alive, and you question yourself, things begin to come and they fall in place and you begin to do things. What I'm just doing now, like taking a grocery to people, It's something that I've been doing for a long, long time.
Mm.
When I go to buy grocery for the home, for my home, I also buy something to keep.
That's how it
I
is.
buy,
Yeah.
keep, but you check the date, you keep,
Mm.
you buy, you keep furniture. I do the same thing, whatever,
Right.
coat, everything. So when you question yourself, now you know authentic presence becomes so credible.
True.
Authentic presence, you see it as credibility. And therefore,
Mhm.
I ask, who do you trust more? The loudest voice in the room, in your group, in your circle, or the most grounded presence?
Mhm.
Grounded
Mhm.
in your authenticity, grounded in who you've been created to be. And when you quote that scripture, I'm so glad that you brought out that scripture, because I didn't even have the time to go into the scripture to
But
look at it.
yes.
And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
in a world competing for attention, which we know, why is
We
it
know.
that the people we trust most are often not the noisiest? Have you ever asked yourself why? Why is it that the people
Mhm.
that we trust the most are not the noisiest, but the most real? They are firm, they are in sync, the belief in you, the trust you for who you are, not what you are, for who you are, who you've been created to be. Why is it that they still support you even though you keep falling and falling? Because they know they are authentic, they are for real. They know that falling
Mhm.
is for everyone, and falling is not a big deal. It might be a big deal at that moment, but it's not a big deal. It is a learning curve. And so at one
Exactly.
global
Go ahead. Uh, when being,
so
you want to take
it's
that,
coming. Go
or you
ahead.
okay? Okay. When
Yeah.
you're being real, as you're saying, it matters more than being loud, because building trust and credibility, which is where you're going, in a world saturated with perfect images, an honest voice has a longer lasting impact than artificial, high volume, over the top communication. People trust those who show up even imperfectly rather than those who show up performatively. Because what I
Mhm,
find is that the loudest voice, generally, they're trying to win an argument, right?
mhm,
That's all it
mhm.
is. They want to
Yep.
shut down everybody else. But the
Mhm,
persons who are speaking collaboratively and quietly, they're reasoning. And the Bible talks about, come, let us reason together. And that is
mhm.
what we need more of in this world, collaboration and reasoning,
Yep.
because no one
Yes.
person has all the perfect answers, right? We're going to do this
Mhm.
together, no matter what we say, young, old, black, white. It has to be together. Otherwise, we have
Yep.
not a democracy, which we all want, right?
Yes.
We have
Yes.
dictatorship, and nobody wants that.
Mhm.
So the loud people are generally trying to shut up everybody else. They're generally trying to win the argument or win over to their way of thinking, which is not what we want.
Yes.
Collaboration is what we're aiming for. So go ahead,
Very,
sister.
very much so. Collaboration is very important because we were
Yeah.
not created to be alone. If we see
No, we
from
don't.
creation, the creation of the first humans, Adam and Eve, when God created the man, why first the man? Because the man is a
Yeah.
leader, the man is a
Yeah.
protector. And when God created Adam, he said, you know what? Adam is going to be lonely. Let me
Right.
create a companion and Eve and place Eve at the side of Adam
Exactly.
to be his
Exactly.
support. That means
Yep.
we work together in collaboration with one another and in authenticity. And so this is very important. That is why at One Global Movement, we hold this truth that credibility is not built by volume, not huge.
Mm,
I'm waiting to do this huge thing. It is built
mm,
by authenticity. That kind of authenticity that you feel within you saying, oh, I did this. If I can do this, I'm going to do it again. And even if I
mhm.
fail, I'm still going to do it. And so
Absolutely.
we live in an age that rewards being seen, being heard, or defend yourself. Oh, you are a fool if you keep quiet, or if you're doing things in the way that you think it means you're not doing it right. That's not the way it has been done. That's not the way it has been done. By who? By who?
Yep.
Aren't you going to
Mm,
ask yourself, no, I'm going to use my own skills and do it authentically, do it for real, not doing it because you want the world to see you. So we
mm,
live in an age that reward being is being seen. It's by being so loud, being so fast, being visible according to the number of clicks and likes, being impressive. You don't want
yeah.
to, like in high school, the high school kids always say, like my son used to say, mommy, I'm being very popular. I said, no, be real, not being popular.
Ah,
is not a very good thing. So that is very beautiful, but loudness is not the same as influence, okay? It is not. What we are doing here, we might not have all the answers, just like Sister said, but this is influence. We want to be able to touch all corners of the globe. We want to be able to touch every home, every young person, every child, every woman.
Yes.
So that is what we want to do. And we do it in practically, not just talking. And that is what we've been called to do. People are doing it in their own way. Do it in your own way. Don't think that you have to copy somebody. But you can only copy somebody when you want to learn, not copying them to compete, but do it your own way. Isn't that true, sister?
It is true. It really is, because, people think that everybody has to be your quote unquote friend. But it's not. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for meeting of the minds, and it doesn't have to be a person that you're going to walk the rest of your life with. But when you go into a room and you're going with the good intention of saying, "What is this about, and how am I going to be moving it forward?" If it's a good idea, you don't go to make friends in the way the world talks about friends, gossipingly. No, you go in there to honor each other, right? Yep. Everybody, as you always said. Everybody has something to contribute. If it's a worthy idea, you let them speak, you discuss it, and you see collaboration. That's what I want to make sure that everybody understands. We're not talking about, as you said, clicks and comments. We're not looking for likes. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for authenticity. Is this idea valid? Will it serve humanity? Is it serving a purpose? Is it moving us to a better place? And then you respect the person for giving it. You see how you can implement it. This is what authentic living is all about, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm so glad that the young people, I can say that for sure, because I have one of them in my home, as you guys know. Yes. And thank God that me and the father, we decided to bring him up with him involved in his own upbringing from very young. Absolutely. And now you can't do something without him questioning it, or you want to try to cheat around to say, but you were teaching me to do this, but how come you're doing this? And so they're not taking it, like you said, they're not accepting those things because they're tired. People get tired mentally, psychologically, and emotionally when the things are not going right. And that is why when we see a lot of the chaos that goes around the world, because we have not allowed these young people, our children or our spouses or our neighbors or whatever, to be their authentic self. And we try to impose, wanting them to know that I know better than you. Nobody knows better. You have your gift, I have my gift. When we bring this gift together, it works. And this is what we should be really, really telling our children, not just telling, but practicing it. And this is very, very important. So noise can attract attention. But authentic presence will earn trust. If you just wanting people to hear you, a lot of time people will just listen so they satisfy you. But the people who know, when that is done and said, they look back into inward to do what matters, what is authentic. And so young people sense this immediately. They can feel when words are polished but hollow. They know. Yep. And that's why they will ask you, are you sure? Are you sure?
Because exactly. or they give you that stare. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about that stare that they can give you, which says so much. Just look at you like, what are you saying?
They think.
The Gen Z stare.
And I really like that though. I love it because
it's not disrespectful. They're not saying anything.
No, they're very respectful. They're doing the right thing. Yeah. Let's get out of that mindset. I know I grew up in an age where even right now, there are some parents who think that, why, how dare you say that to me? I am your mom. I am your dad. Don't say that. But I thank God, they always, no. I think we should, how about we do it this way? How about we take a look at this way? I understand it this way. Okay, let me do it. Let's try it this way. If it doesn't work, then we can try it the other way. And we give them that opportunity, not imposing on these children. When we impose, we have defeated the purpose for which we brought these children into this world. They have to be able to take matters into their hands, following authenticity, the one that we were created with. and doing so with purpose. So young people sense this immediately. They can feel when words are polished, but they are so hollow. There is no
Mhm.
meaning in it. When
Yes.
energy is so performative rather than grounded, they sense that. And in response, they do something powerful. They disengage, not from responsibility, though, but from
Yeah.
what feels unreal. They disengage
Absolutely.
immediately. They're not going to do it because it gives headache. Okay,
Yes.
it gives headache. I
Yes.
used to have lots of headache, sister.
Yes.
And I was
Seriously, they
forced
are
into
very
situation.
mindful of their mental health system.
Yes.
These people are not like the generation before them who, waited until they had a crisis or whatever it is. They are very proactive about their mental health. If it's not good for them, they know right away, as you say, somehow it just clicks in, this is not going to serve me well, and they're not going to be part of it. That's the most of what I'm seeing. As I said, 44% of them are rejecting jobs that doesn't align with what they know is good for them.
Good.
44%,
And that is good,
you know,
sister, because you're
it is.
fulfilled. Remember last time you talked about some of us, we are winding. This company is doing something that is wrong, that is not
And you
serving
stay
your
there.
purpose.
Yes,
And you
yes,
stay there for 20, 30, 40 years, and you keep
yes,
winding and complaining, having a headache. In the end, you get frustrated and you wasted all
yes,
your life.
absolutely.
When sometimes refusing something will allow something better to come into your life, even though you will go
Absolutely.
through some a
Yes,
little bit of challenges. That is
yeah,
what life is all about. You
it
stick to
is.
what you know it is right, and you keep
Mhm.
doing it, not just doing it so that people can like you, so that people can pick you, people can choose you. That's why when I always say, if you don't take good care of yourself, if you know you're not feeling well, or you have something important to do for
Yes,
your family or
yep,
yourself, don't come
yep,
here. Because when you come here, you're coming just so people know that you are here. That should not be the case. Because whether you are here or not, or I'm here or not, maybe the co-host is here. Guess what? The world knows what we are doing, because
yes,
thank God for this technology. These things will
yes.
disseminate regardless. And
Hmm.
that is why we
Hmm.
always encourage people, click that like button. And when you
Absolutely.
go to watch, subscribe, share, don't just keep it to yourself. This is very important. So, authenticity is not about oversharing. No, it is not about raw emotion on display. It's about alignment.
Exactly.
Alignment. When
Exactly.
when you who are when you matches what you say with what, with action and the people that you go around with. It feels safe
Truly.
in your presence. Authentic presence does not rush to say, oh, let me
Mhm.
be the first person. You just
Yep.
do it according to how you're thinking, according to how it comes to you. You just do it. It does not need constant applause. You know that you know yourself. You know that God created you for greatness. You know
Again,
that you are gifted. And
yes,
whether somebody claps for you or not,
it
you
doesn't
don't need
matter.
those
Yes,
things. You don't need
yes,
it. You don't need
yes.
it, right, sister?
It's the new phrase that you coined that I really love so much, that inner permission that you give yourself because you know your purpose, right? And you know you're creative. You
Mhm.
have an identity that is so grounded that you are able to give yourself that inner permission to fulfill your purpose, continue on your journey, whether any people are clapping or watching from the sidelines or asking for your autograph or whatever people look around for these days. It's so good to be authentically, because the time, even if you live to be 200 years, the time goes so
Yep.
fast. So,
Oh,
yeah.
it goes so fast. I draw the example of my grandma who just passed. You know,
Yes.
my
Yes.
grandmother was incredible. 109 is not a joke.
Yes.
And
No,
he
it's
was
not.
she was
It's a
very
real
healthy.
milestone, I tell you.
And she was so intact up here.
Cognitive, not impaired at all.
Remembers
Yes.
everything that I was doing as a child. And telling you guys, continue to do this and add
What a
what you need
blessing
to
she
add on top.
was.
And when it
Yes.
was time, she knew. She said, I think it's my time to go. God
Oh,
says it's my time to go. And we thought and she was laughing. And then she was dancing. I have the video. When I post that video, people are on top of it like crazy. Said,
a
it's my
true
time to go.
legacy.
And
A true
yeah, true
legacy.
legacy.
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes.
everything that I'm doing today, I say always owe it to my grandmother and my
Yeah.
mom. But my grandmother was on top, okay?
Yep.
On
Yep.
top of everything. She will even sacrifice her life for everything. This is
Wow.
what we need to do as parents, okay?
Yes, it is.
And and
Yes.
and we listen. And listening doesn't mean you have to be you have to be shouting. And authenticity is not that you have to dominate. You don't have to dominate
No, you don't.
space
No,
or
no,
people or property or anything. You got to
no.
just stand calmly, you speak calmly, and you act calmly because you know that it is necessary. When we
Exactly.
do this with these children, I'm telling you, because I see with my son, I just say, I raise my hand, I say, Lord, I thank you. I thank
Amen.
you. You know,
Yep.
I really
Yep.
do thank you. So authenticity carries weight,
It
even when
does.
it speaks softly. That
That
kind of heavy weight that you feel it, you are happy with yourself. Sometimes you burst out laughing to yourself, and somebody will be like, "What's wrong with you?" There's nothing
yes.
wrong because that person is happy. You don't
Yeah,
know, you know.
that is
So
so true. Exactly. That's exactly it. Again, with that the inner life, it's so much more important. People should realize that your inner life should be so grounded that whatever is happening on the outside, you can withstand it because there will be things happen. People will, circumstances will come against you. We live in this world where, you know, people are not doing what they're supposed to do and it will affect you. But
mhm,
grounding your inner life gives you that stamina to
yep.
be, authentic because you know who you are and you know what your purpose is. And you just travel through this world paying your dues and going along. Hopefully, you will live to
Yeah.
109 like your grandmother. Not all of us will make that, but,
I'm going to live
incredibly.
150. I always say that too. Strong though, very strong and healthy, so that I can continue to do what I'm doing.
Why not? Why not? Why not? So,
And I
yes.
know God knows. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
exactly. Why not aim for that,
I have
Because
I
yeah,
talk to a lot of young people, sister, as I go
yeah,
around every day when I leave my home, whether it's for an appointment or whatever, or it's
yeah,
just to go to the community. I make an
yeah.
effort to talk to at least two young
Two
people.
young persons.
I
Yep,
always
absolutely.
approach them, especially
Yep.
in summer. I just have a lot to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
also to pitch to them about what we are doing. And these young people, I'll bet you some of them will say, "You don't want me to be myself." When you mistakenly say something that you didn't even know, a mistake, they will ask you that question,
Yes, you
you
don't
know.
want me to.
So young people trust those who don't need them to perform either. They don't.
Absolutely.
They don't
Absolutely.
you want me to perform? No, that's not who I am. They will tell you that, and we need to respect that.
We
Because
do.
somewhere in our head, we, the parents and adults, somewhere we think, oh, it has to be this way. No,
Yeah.
train the child the way they should go so that when they grow up, they will do what God has created them to be, not what you are forcing into them. And that is why we always say, start watching your child very young. Start
Mm-hmm.
knowing, what is my child gravitating towards? Is this, and then that is where you start building that authenticity and knowing
Absolutely.
that you are raising that child with authentic behavior and authentic character. So when adults model grounded authenticity, young people feel permission to be real.
Do the
They feel
same.
that
Yeah.
permission to be real, to grow without pretending, to speak without fear, to lead without a mask, putting on a mask, to know that
Yes.
whether there is a click here or a lie here or not, I am still going to do what God has created me to do. That is
Yes.
that's authentic behavior, and we need to model this. We
We
can't just
do.
be talking, we need to model this. I know that
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to get out of our comfort zone, but oh
Mm-hmm.
boy, I tell you, if you get out, I'm saying this from my own experiences, that I
Mm-hmm.
had to train myself to get out of where I was because
Mm-hmm.
of a father's behavior. But when I got there, I am so relieved. Even if I don't
Mm-hmm.
have what I need for today, I'm still very happy. It will come tomorrow because
It will.
now I was raised with that behavior. So we are asking, but we need to share everything with the rest of the world and
Yeah.
really do it. We have to be those that have to bring peace and love and reconciliation and togetherness in the world
Right.
because we want
Right.
our children to live happily, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And
All right.
people have a way of thinking that young people are isolating, whatever. But it's funny if you start a conversation, like you were saying, in a real way where they are allowed to be themselves. You'll be surprised how garrulous they are, how verbal they can become, talking about their aspirations, and they're not whiners. I don't find that. I just find that they need to be able to have a safe encounter where they
Mm-hmm.
can really tell you what's going on with them
Yep.
because
Yep.
not many of them are feeling safe about doing that because, they get so many labels. They're this, they're that, they're whatever it is. But they're not any of those things unless you put that label on them and don't find out different. They want to talk about what they want to do and how they're traveling through this world.
Yep, yep. I would just say one thing that my grandmother taught me, and then we can appreciate our audience. When I was
Yeah.
growing up, my grandmother always tell people, "Gamrasi, gamrasi." Gamrasi means something that has to do with the English word congruence, that young people carry with them congruity. Congruence, which means when they carry that
Oh,
congruity, they create credibility. So my grandmother
yes.
was always saying that, but now, in order for me to be able to express it, I have to start looking for the English. She always says it all the time. Gamara si ambabonbo. Tell it as it is to these children. Even if
Yes.
it's going to hurt you. So people follow those who are
Yeah.
whole, not
Yes.
those who are loud. Okay.
Yes.
And wholeness
Yep.
doesn't mean that you will not make mistakes. Wholeness
No, it
means
doesn't mean
that,
perfection. It doesn't mean
yes,
that.
there's no perfection, sister, like you said.
No,
There's no
it does
perfection
not.
in this life. Only
Yeah.
God is perfect. People who say there's perfection, they're just not telling the truth. So,
Yeah.
parents, your presence teaches more than your instructions. Presence means
Absolutely.
you're doing it. And so
Yep.
we want this, and it goes the same thing to educators, it goes the same thing to leaders, it goes
Yep.
to all of us. And this
Yep.
is what it really means, to really bring that authenticity to these children. Such a beautiful
Absolutely.
thing.
It's a beautiful topic. Yeah. And so in one global movement, which is our brand here, in a global movement, we don't need to be the same. That wouldn't make
Yes.
any sense if we were all the same. We just need to be real with each other. Global
Mhm.
change starts with the individual courage to honor yourself and others, one interaction at a time. That's how it works. That's how it starts. One
Absolutely.
person. Yeah. You're freezing up there. I guess it's very cold there.
The
Ha
internet sometimes, these people, they're taking my money. I don't know what they're doing with it. I'm gonna
Every now and then that
my
happens.
son
At
is here.
least,
We're going to call around to see how we can replace it somehow and try the other
okay. All
side.
right, sister. Okay, well, let's
All
say hello to
right.
our
Thank you,
audience.
John, for your contribution towards our families and children around the globe. We highly appreciate you, John. Thank you so much. And
Amen.
mhm. Okay. And we have our Queen Nancy. We miss your voice,
Yes.
sweet sister. We miss your voice here. So thank you so much, Nancy, for being a part of us here all the time. And thank you for raising those kids the authentic way. In the meantime, please think about the topic and how you will comment. And if you don't have anything to comment, would it be too much for me to ask for you to hashtag One Global Movement, hashtag Building Hopes and Dreams, hashtag those very beautiful things that we are talking about here? It's always a beautiful thing to hashtag so that these algorithms can take it. And we
Mm-hmm.
have, thank you so much, sister. This is our StreamYard. In case you're wanting a platform to use for your mission, we have StreamYard right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our Facebook page to always go there and like and follow, and also share it with your social media platform, and tell people what you're doing, because we are interconnected here, so they can also go and like and follow. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much, John. Thank you, guys. You guys are really emphasizing this. This is so much, because repetition really helps a lot of people to know. Thank you so much, John.
Absolutely. Yes.
And this is also, again, give to the max. Okay, give to the
Mm-hmm.
max. People are still giving. It's an
Mm-hmm.
all year round thing, and then when it comes to that one day, again, once a year, we come out and mass to do that. So if you still want to give, there goes the link there. Thank you so much, John, for putting that in there.
Mm.
And yes, thank you. All right, sister, I'm just going to let you give our little conclusion here.
Mhm. Okay. So I'd like to say what authenticity actually looks like. It's consistency, being the same person in different situations, rather than shaping your personality to watch the room, to match the room when you walk in there. Don't go in there for somebody to tell you who you are. You go in knowing who you are, respectfully, because everybody should have a place at the table. That's what they call it, a place at the table. Speaking truthfully, communicating with honesty and respect, right? Rather than shouting or using high volume. As I said before, Normally, when people are so loud, it's only because they want to shut down the room and have only their idea be supreme. But there's no such space. Everybody has a right to have a place at the table with respect, and that's how we honor one another. That's how we
There
move
you
the
go.
world forward. So
There we
thank you,
go.
sister.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend or the rest of the week, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. Until then, we love you all.
Bye, everyone.
Peace
Keep
and love.
warm if
Bye-bye.
you're in a cold country like we are.
I
Minus
know, right?
14. Bye.
Bye-bye.